Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG, and today we're going to actually dive into set 4 coverage. Like I said, I fielded the idea to you guys, and you guys said that most of you guys were saying a mix of global and JP would be pretty good. And I think it's going to be pretty nice just because, you know, JP content comes out before our own, and the global side will tweak the format, sometimes even find breakthroughs, but a lot of this is the good starting point for where we're going to test and figure out things. So with that being said, I do want to let you guys know we are pushing to 5K. That is the next step. Something yada yada gear 5K. It is what it is. But if you like the content and you haven't already, now would be a good time. Subscribe to the channel, join the UniX fam, join the Discord. Everything's in the link tree for real. And yeah, you can just like the video if you like the content. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna talk about Rebecca today. You can see the thumbnail if you clicked on the video. We're gonna talk about Rebecca, how she's set up, why the deck is good, and I'm not talking about her leader art. And yeah, a lot of people just need to be in the know that by the time the set comes out, they already know what we're working with. Past that, we're going to talk a little bit later about Mystic TCG, as we always do, so you know where to pre-order this if you haven't already. I think the pre-order is actually dead, I'm not going to front. So, where you can buy this set, and if you've come too late to pre-order set 4, you can always pre-order set 5 the moment that drops. So let's get into it. So, we're going to go through the blue-black Rebecca cards that really just make the deck what it is. First off, we're starting off with the leader. She is dual color, but you guys are going to notice she actually has 5 life. That is because she is one of the leaders that cannot attack. And I know what you guys are thinking. That's weird. But if you've been paying attention to the OCG, you've been seeing that this leader is topping left and right. And what's more, if you've actually played her, you kind of start understanding why it doesn't matter that she cannot attack. So activate main once per turn, 1 Dawn. If you have 6 or less cards in hand, look at the top 2 cards from your deck, reveal up to 1 Dressrosa type card and add it to your hand, then trash the rest. A couple of things are important to note here. 1, it's a Dressrosa type card, so it's not a character, it's not an event, it's both of them. 2, you're trashing the other card. This is gonna seem scary at first, but as you see more and more cards in the deck, you're gonna understand why this is nice. So this is a really good card because 1, Rebecca is always live on turn 1. There's never a time where she's not live because you will never have more than 6 cards in hand on turn 1, meaning Rebecca will always, even if you whiff, this deck plays, I believe, 8 1-drops. Even if you whiff, you will still be able to tap 1 and then search your top 2 for a Dressrosa card. So that is beautiful. Now we're gonna move over to the next card. This is Rebecca in character form. 1-drop searcher for the deck. Nothing too special about this. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose a Dressrosa card, type card amongst them, other than Rebecca, and then put the rest in the trash. Very simple. Very, you know, just standard for this. Now we're gonna move over to Leo, the Tuntata. It's a 1-drop, 1 counter, and on play, you may rest your leader, which shouldn't matter because your leader's not attacking. And if your leader has the Dressrosa type, KO up to 1 of your opponent's cost 1 or lower characters, then trash the top 2 from your deck. Any of you guys have been playing since set 2, at the minimum, should realize this is how black tends to go with this destruction. You're destroying low cost, but you have cards that lower the cost to this destruction range. Next, we actually have Gyats, and every time I see it, all I just think is Gyat! Like, you know what I mean. If you guys watch enough Twitch, you guys know what I mean. But this is gonna be a meme on the card already. But 2K counter, on play, 1 of your characters with the Dressrosa type may attack your opponent's characters inactive during this turn. This is a 1-2 combo because you will be able to play a Dressrosa type character, and then later if somebody plays something and they don't think they can be sniped, they're probably not reading your cards because this card allows you to literally just play it and then snipe something in active mode. So nothing is safe even when they think it's safe. Next, you have Idio. He's just a blocker. Really cool art. Kind of sad they wasted it on a 2K blocker, but it's still just a blocker because sometimes in this deck you build up a wall for a little bit. We got Bartolomeo, another blocker. This time it's a 3K, and this one's a 2-cost counter as well. Both of these cards are easily destroyed by things like Marco, Vista, pretty much Fire Fist, anything that's destructive in this game. Robin. So these aren't really great blockers versus red, but it is what it is. Next, we're gonna get to the spicier card right here. This is Kyros. If this character is a 3-drop, no counter, 5K, so it goes neutral with most leaders. And if this character would be KO'd, you may rest your leader or 1 Karita Coliseum instead. And then if you're on play, if your leader is Rebecca, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less, then trash 1 card from the top of your deck. Once again, this is the B side, this is the destruction, and then you'll have to have cards that lower the cost of your opponent's cards. Speaking of which, though, we got to this Orlumbus. I don't know why that name tickles me so. Like, if I ever got a blunderbuss, I'm gonna name it Orlumbus. The name just seems solid. But it's a 4 cost, 1 counter, 5k. Activate main once per turn. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -4 during this turn. Then trash 2 cards from the top of your deck. Then KO one of your Dressrosa type characters. So you're already starting to see the synergy. This is going to lower a cost by 4k, allowing your other cards to destroy things. But you have cards like Kyrios, who just says if this card would be destroyed, KO'd, you may rest your leader or your field card, Corrida Coliseum, instead. So with this guy on board, you can lower something by 4 and then just attempt to pop the Kyrios and then tap your leader instead. Very, very efficient. Now next, you guys are probably already in the know, but this is going to be the future manga rare, but this is Sabo. Sabo is just essentially value on a stick. He's a 5 cost, 6k blocker who says on play, your characters cannot be KO'd by card effects, both yours and your opponent's, until the start of your next turn, and draw 2, trash 2. What this means is you'll be able to play things like Sabo, and then put another 4 down for things like Orlumbus, use its effect, and then you don't have to KO your things, so none of them have to get KO'd. And then following that, you can play like a 1-drop Tontada and blow up something that used to be 5 cost and I got reduced to 1. So there's a little bit of combo play with this, and all these cards are milling, so that's pretty cool. Sabo in that particular play would draw 2, trash 2, Orlumbus would trash 2, and then the Tontada would trash 2. So that's 6 cards, but you actually drew 2. There's a whole lot of things that are going for us. And the cool thing is here, Sabo is indeed going to be essentially like, what? If you're at 6 cards in hand, you play him, you go down to 5, and then you draw 2, bring in 7, and you trash 2. So he's still a giant break even. If you guys have been playing One Piece, you know this game doesn't really have too many pluses, but that's what keeps it as simple as it is. So many pluses, super rare. But now we're gonna get on to the biggest card in this deck, no pun intended. This is Monkey D. Luffy and his Gear 4th. 7 cost, 7k. This card can attack active characters, meaning that that 7k body is putting pressure all over the place. But the most important skill here is activate main once per turn. You may return 7 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Set this character to active. Then during your next refresh phase, this character cannot be reset to active. The cool thing about this though is you never have to swing a second time until you want to, until you need to press the board, press somebody's life, or go for game. So essentially, this guy is very, very turtle safe. At 7k, it's immune to most destruction without having its power lowered. Same with its level. At 7 cost, it's very much so immune to a lot of destruction. Past that, it's also going to be able to push for a great number. 7 versus 5 is great, but you're probably going to have it at a higher life power, and we're going to see how. And frankly, the fact that you can return any 7 cards, they don't have to be Dressrosa cards, makes it very, very crazy. Because when you're teching cards like Kaya to draw 2, trash 2, or you're teching cards like Thousand Worlds, you're going to be able to put those back in your deck and then try to speed your way back to them. So this is actually a very, 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 very good card. Now, second to last card, we got Corrida Coliseum. If your leader has the Dressrosa type, your characters that have Dressrosa type can attack characters on the turn they are played. So this gives all your Dressrosa type characters pseudo rush as long as they're attacking a character, and this is very, very nice. Some combo play, you can play Gyat when you play a Dressrosa type character, and this is on the board to allow your characters to attack active mode characters the turn they come out. And then finally, you have the card that makes this entire deck go around. And that is Gum Gum King Kong Gun. Main, up to one of your Dressrosa type characters gains 6k power for during this turn. And then if you have 15 or more cards in trash, that card gains double attack during this turn. And if it gets triggered, it's Graceful Charity if you guys play Yu-Gi-Oh! Draw 3 cards, trash 2 cards from your hand. So this card alone, plus the Luffy, makes certain plays just unreal. And really brings up the OTK potential in this deck. So what we're gonna do here is slide into the Mystic TCG ad so you guys know where to buy your sealed product at 5% off using my code, as well as get free shipping. But also, yeah, that's actually pretty much it. There's gonna be some information in that ad where you guys just get to know where to go for singles and whatnot too from them. But yeah, we're gonna cut to that, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna summarize why this deck works the way it is. And let's just say if this video gets up to 100 likes, we'll hop in and do some Rebecca gameplay on the channel using the sim. I think we're just gonna start setting like goals so these videos trend more and more. But yes, thank you guys, and yeah, stay tuned after the ad so we can keep talking about this. So let's talk about Mystic TCG, your one-stop shop for all your TCG needs. On the site, you can buy or pre-order plenty of sealed product for plenty of games. Just make sure though, if you're pre-ordering, to give it 3 to 4 months in advance to start looking, because sometimes the product is indeed hot, supply and demand, you know? And then if you want to buy singles, go on tcgplayer.com. There's going to be a link in the description where you can buy for the best value. And if you want to sell cards or collections, you can message them on their Facebook site so you can get the best bang for your buck on any type of way you want to buy or sell cards. And then while you're at it, you can use the code UNIXTCG at checkout to get even more of a discount. So hey, what are you waiting for? Check out Mystic TCG today. Yeah, like I said, Mystic TCG, great sponsor. Don't at me, or do. But the thing we're going to talk about here is why this deck works. So essentially, you got to think about the main combo, which are these two cards, Luffy and Gum Gum King Kong Gun. When this is active, essentially, if your opponent doesn't have blockers, you are going to be able to kill them from 2 life, provided they don't get some, like, actually, no, not even triggers really work. I think certain triggers will work, like Red Hawk or Fiery Doll, anything that lowers Luffy's power, because you'll be able to soften the blow. But in a lot of cases, like things like Punk Gibson won't work simply because you'll be able to just restand him. He's not stood until you activate his activate main. So essentially, when you play one King Kong gun, this Luffy gets up to 13k. If you play a second one, he is at a base 20k just for playing 2 of these guys. Actually, sorry, base 19k for playing 2 of these guys. And if you have 15 or more cards in your drop, he gains double strike. So base 19, you can put whatever other Dawn you want on him. You're like, spoiler alert, your opponent is not swinging over this card or defending over this card. It's extremely hard. Even Whitebeard needs to high roll to stop that with a full hand, like a hand that has over like 9 cards in it. But that's actually to show you guys the strength of this deck. Whitebeard can only take its own life. You cannot damage Whitebeard 1 time in the game, and Whitebeard will still usually get folded if they don't have a blocker by double King Kong Gun Luffy with the rest of the Dawn on it. It's actually insane. So when it comes to this, you really have to be mindful of the fact that this deck will try to chip you, but the moment you hit 2 life, it is likely game if they have this combo. If you see the Luffy on board, just know you need to put up a wall or you're about to lose it all. Like, it is just straight up. So the things that connect this though, you have the leader being able to do her tap 1 and then searching for the Luffy or the Gum Gum King Kong guns, as well as the Rebecca 1-drop doing the same thing. Those 2 will find these cards. You play usually 3 of the extra and 4 of the Luffy. You will find this card. On top of that, you've got Sabo, who will be played and he'll be drawing 2, trashing 2. Since this deck is also blue, you have access to cards like Kaya, who will, for 1, draw 2, trash 2. This deck is very consistent. The only thing I can say about this deck outside of that is that in between the start of the game and the Luffy dropping, there isn't the most easy pressure. Like, I mean, Kairos swings. That's cool. He's a 5k. You can do that. He has a little protection, so you know you can tap your leader or your Corona Coliseum. So 2 times a turn, this guy can't be destroyed. That's very, very, very good. But he can be bounced. That's something you should know. He can be bounced. So in the meantime, you do have to figure out how to get your opponent down to 2 life. That's the hardest part about this deck, because once that Luffy gets down, he's indestructible. Like, well, it's not indestructible, but you know what I mean. Like, that attack is coming through. Now, the thing in the meantime is how you get rid of blockers. Gum Gum King Kong Gun is a 3 cost. So playing 1 of them, you have 7 to work with. And with 7, you will be able to do things like play Olympus, put a blocker down to 0 cost, and then play something behind it like a Tantata, the Leo, and you can pop. And then both of those things will allow you to mill 2 cards. So that's a total of 4 more cards, making sure that when you use King Kong Gun, you should be able to proc the double strike portion of it. So that will get rid of a blocker. If your opponent is only playing 1-drop blockers, that's dangerous because you can just hold dub Leos, and the turn could be, well, you started off with Luffy on the board, Leo, pop something, mill 2, Leo. Well, you can't rest your leader twice, so at that point, you can only use 1 Leo. There's one more card that actually works in there. I guess it would be the Kyros. So you could go Leo for 1 Dawn, Kyros for 3 Dawn, Gum Gum, King Kong Gun for 3 more Dawn, and then you have 4 more Dawn to put under your Luffy. So that either puts Luffy at 17k, swinging twice for double, or if you are just goated, you could play a second King Kong Gun and then put the last down under Luffy to make him 20k double. And you just swing once, do your 2 damage, get him down to 0, and then you put 7 at the bottom of your deck and you swing again. So that's kind of how this deck is. You guys should be able to see these cards, go back in the video, look at these things, and see how it has normal black shenanigans. This deck is not very loose in terms of space. A lot of the cards you see here, like 3,000 Worlds, Kaya, and then it's just Rosa pieces. So essentially the deck is get your opponent down to 2, and then Luffy does the finishing blow. If you have an abundance of Luffys and you think you can have the game go a little longer, you can use Luffy to push damage. The best part about Luffy himself is that since you don't need to attack after you stand him, you can swing and then put 7 at the bottom of your deck and untap him and just not swing with him again. So he'll never need to untap during your next step. So there's a lot of protection for this card. He's a good cost, he's a good power. They have to go 2 for 1 just to destroy it in almost every case. And then on top of that, he's gonna be able to poke for some very, very good offensive pressure. So yeah, that is the Rebecca overview. Like I said, 100 likes and I will do some gameplay with it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more One Piece videos for set 3. In about a week, I will be participating in an online treasure cup, so I'll probably stream that. And then a week after that, I'll be in Florida playing in a One Piece regional. So I'll do some round updates and whatnot. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the comments, in the Discord, and I will see you the very next time you decide to join Universe X. Later.